Hello everyone, welcome. This is going to be part one out of my color along from Wish You Were Here by Teresa Goodridge. This is a freebie in her group if you are interested in joining. If you need help finding it, let me know and I can get you that link. This one was requested back when we tackled this page, but I didn't want to do two in the row because I'm a book switcher. I have a hard time sticking to one book. So I'm coming back to it now. So this is a requested page we're going to tackle here. I am going to do this one in Prismacolors. That seems to be the most popular for people to be able to either follow along with or convert to if they need to. And we'll get started. So first thing first, I'm going to decide where I want to start. And I was going to start with this elephant, but I think I'm going to start at the top. So when picking my colors here, I'm gonna think of what I want. And I want this to look hot. I want it to be a hot safari feel. So automatically when I think hot colors, we're thinking reds, oranges, and yellows. Now, originally I was gonna draw my own sunset in or sunrise here, and then I realized she has one in. So at your discretion, whether you want to put your brightest here and fade this way, or if you want to put your brightest at the top and fade down. Either works, just know where the sun is will always be the brightest. So I'm going to go poppy red, yellowed orange, sunburst yellow, canary yellow, and cream. Cream will be my brightest color in this corner again to give that illusion of the sun being the brightest. You can also, you know, do your yellows to blues if you want, but I really want that like hot yellow safari sun feel. I'm also going to be bringing yellow down here and also into this dirt. So yellow works great to bring up here because then I'm bringing it all the way down. So it's going to look a little weird when I first start off. I'm going to leave my sun white and I'm going to fill my sky in, and then I'll go back and kind of play with that and white out the black. So I'm going to pull you in a little. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cream and I'm just going to go around this sun. So that's already built in. I don't have to worry about that. Okay, then I'm going to take my canary yellow and I'm going to turn this just a little. I am not burnishing or blending just yet, just kind of base layering. I am not putting in the brown on my trees first. I am putting in my lightest color first, because if I put that brown in now and I bump it with my yellow or my green, it's going to smear and I'm going to have brown in my yellow sky. So I'm putting my yellow in first. If you want to, you could also do these in fine liners like a brown alcohol marker or water-based marker, and then you don't have to worry about it smearing into your yellow. But if you're using yellow, just a heads up, you kind of want to put that in first. I have learned that. It took me a little while, but I finally learned it. Okay, I'm going to make sure that it's somewhat even across, and then I'm going to pull my sunburst yellow. And I'm actually going to bring it down just a little more under this tree, because I don't want it to look chopped off behind that tree. So we're going to just bring it down a little in a couple spots, nothing too far, but okay. Then the sunburst. Again, I'm not pressing super hard, not going for dark orange, just kind of getting the color in here blended. Now, this is the usual gradient that I do on a lot of skies, so you have seen this before, but I am going to change it up a little, so you may want to watch before you follow on the last part if you are choosing to follow along. Throw some new stuff in there so that all my videos aren't the same. Okay. Now I am leaving just a little bit of room at the bottom here for my yellow orange. I wanted to say yellowed sunburst, and I knew that wasn't right. I am holding my pencil toward the top because I am heavy-handed, and the higher you hold your pencil, the lighter your pressure will be. I am going to darken this, but for the moment I just kind of want a nice gradient feel. Okay, now I'm going to work my way back up and darken. Make sure I have a nice blend going on there. Sorry about all the cars. I'm doing this in the afternoon because that's when it's quiet. These color alongs will get a little quicker now that school is starting, but school here does not start until the end of August, like the 22nd. So it'll probably be more like September's color alongs that start coming out a little quicker. But I will do my best here. Okay, so just kind of playing with the colors a little bit. This is yellowed orange, just kind of touching up some spots. Okay, and then that canary yellow, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to kind of and some of the ink in this book does smear. And I don't know why, but be aware that if you hit a lot of that ink with your yellow, it will drag it. You could also do this effect with markers. It's less likely to smear your ink. And I don't know why. Some of the books, some of the Creative Haven books are better than others when it comes to that. And I don't just know if it's the way they were printed or if it's newer books versus older books. Not sure. Okay. So there is the beginning of our nice, warm, toasty sky. And again, I can come back with my sunburst yellow and just make sure that everything is blended, even feeling. And I skipped this whole section right here under this tree and didn't even notice. I'm thinking that's sky, yeah. Pardon the noise, I'm going to sharpen this real quick so that I can get in here. Okay, so if you like your sky like this, then after you get it all blended, and there's no blend lines and everything's transitioned nice, and you can't tell where one color stops and another end starts. I think I said that backwards, but you know what I mean. Then you can stop there, and the next thing we will do are these treetops. However, I am going to take my sunburst orange, yellowed orange, sorry, mixing them up left and right, and I'm going to come in at the top here, and I'm just going to add a little line right along that black line. I'm going to bring it down in one spot. Doesn't matter where, anywhere you like, just bring it down a little. Doesn't matter the pattern of it. Okay, and then I'm going to pick another spot, so maybe like right here. And that's going to be hard to do because I don't want to smear the ink on this book. But all that is doing, and you can even go in and darken it one. So this is that poppy red I was talking about. And we're just going to kind of darken it a little. And then what this does, I'm going to come down here in the orange and add just a little. Just adding a couple lines here and there. Nothing huge, nothing long, nothing too bold, but it just gives it the look of a little bit of clouds. And then we will smooth that out with the yellow again, so it also won't be as harsh. This works great if you're doing it with blues too, on a blue sky, adding a little bit of grays or darker blues for lines. Okay, and then again, back with that yellow just to tame everything down. We don't want it to look too harsh. We don't want a giant orange cloud in our sky. But we also want it to look like it has a little bit of life in it. So just blending all those lines I put in with a yellow a little. I need to touch up in between my trees because I can see a bunch of white. And then I'm going to darken on this side of the tree if I can do it without smearing my ink. Especially with this cream. And that is going to be the start of our sky. So we got a nice sky put in there. So what I'm also going to do, I have the colors out, is I'm going to lightly touch these hills with yellow. Now it's going to look like they're blending in, but I am going to come back with green. So they will not blend in with the sky, but I do want it to look like that sun is shining off my hills. So I am aware that it looks like it blends in with the sky right now, but it will not when I'm done. Okay, just kind of quickly touching up my bottom here. Okay. So back to the treetops. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my apple green and my Prussian green. You can do this in any order you want, whether you want to do dark first or light first. But I'm going to go along the bottom line of the tree here, and you can kind of see where she has the lines in. I might have to pull you in one closer. Let me do this one pulled out, and then I will pull you in for the next one. That way those who don't like close-up can see, and those who do like close-up can see. And you can kind of see where she has it drawn in, but mainly what I'm trying to do is hide the lines with my dark color. Okay, then we will take this apple green Be aware if you put your apple green down first and then your Prussian green will not look as dark. It will still look fine, just letting you know that mine will be darker because I put my dark down first. I didn't base layer. And then there's a couple spots I'm not sure if they are tree or branch or sky, so I'm just going to color them as tree. Help fill in all the whites around here. And then your choice, you can highlight with the yellow in a couple spots or chartreuse. And that's not even necessary if you don't want. I just like the look of it. So I'm going to pull you in and we'll do the big tree so you can see the lines I'm talking about. Okay, sorry about that. I stopped the video trying to get lined up here. The tricky part of this being this close, trying to show the little details, is also having my hand out of the way so you can see. Let me get centered here. And I'm sorry about my finger. I totally burnt it, so it looks ugly. Okay, so again, we're doing the bottom, and then right here where she has some little indents, I'm going to go ahead and put my green. So the bottom where she has this dark green line, and you can kind of follow from the bold line up, and if you can't tell where the scribbles are, it doesn't really matter. Nobody's going to notice. But that's just kind of the base I follow on the trees here. So something like that. I'm going to darken that up real good. Okay, and then like this little swivel here, I'm going to color in, and a little here. Just some of these darker spots that I kind of want to hide so they don't show through so much. Even these I'll probably darken again, just a little. Okay. And then we'll take that apple green again, and this pencil's little, so I'm going to try to hold it where you can see. Okay, sorry about that. All right, we're going to finish up here with our light green. So apple green going right over the dark, circular motions, just kind of pulling everything together. And the great thing about these two colors is if you don't like anywhere, kind of like right here at the top, those dark lines really show through. I can color right over the top and darken that up. I apologize if you can hear the little tiny meows in the background. I got a new baby to foster. He was found severely dehydrated, so I am so glad he's doing well now, because it was touch and go the first night. I'm pretty sure I cried because I was like positive he was not going to make it. So those meows are meows of joy. He can hear me, which is why he's meowing. He's like, I hear people, it must be time to eat. So I will get him fed here after this section. But yes, so that is his little story. He's the first kitten I've ever had to force feed like Pedialyte and to get him to come back around. Alright, and so while we're also this close and zoomed in, I'm just going to quickly show how I do my trees. Again, you can do them with a fine liner, however you want, whatever works for you. This is sepia, and you can kind of see where she's put lines in. So wherever her darker lines are is where I'm putting my sepia. If you are not into the small fine details or they're hard to see, totally one color them works great. And this is burnt ochre, good old burnt ochre. And I'm bringing the burnt ochre in because, again, I will probably put some down here in my dirt, and my giraffe will also have this color incorporated. If you've hung out with me before or joined in on a color along, you will know I try not to use any color just once on a page. So, helps with the balance of things, brings things together, nothing stands out more than it's supposed to, I should say. And again, I want to make sure that I have my sky all nice and done before I put the brown or the green in, so we don't have any of that smearing. So I am doing my sepia up by the treetop because these leaves would shadow the branches under them. So all those will be dark to give that illusion. The rest, you can either follow the dark line she's put in or just kind of wing it however you want. That's what I do. And this is actually not burnt ochre, that's sienna. That's why that pencil's not working so well. One second. So sienna and burnt ochre, in case you're wondering, that would be how I mix them up. So there's just very little difference there. I was wondering why it was coming out so light on the page. And then I realized. So there is one tree in. Again, I need to quickly touch up between this tree, and I accidentally did color my treetops orange, so don't be like me. This little tiny tree, I will do the same. So he will have a dark at the bottom, light at the top, And then again at the very top, I'm just going to bring in just a little bit of that yellow. Just to, you won't see a whole lot of color variance on this one, just because he's little and he's far away. So I'm just going to do the dark. Same with this guy. Things further away from us are usually darker. So if you've ever colored water, closest to you is brighter, darker farther back. Same thing kind of applies to trees and mountains in the background here. Just helps with that illusion on the page. Okay, so I'm also going to get this hill done. So I'm going to grab my chartreuse. And again, I apologize for how little my pencils are. I haven't dug out my set yet and got new colors. I think I'm kind of dreading it because I don't want to open my new set yet. So again, chartreuse on this hill under the yellow and a little over the yellow, so it doesn't blend in with the sky, but it's still nice and bright. Bringing that down to the bushes. You're going to hear a couple of kids outside playing outside the window. Okay, then I'm going to take that apple green and I'm going to start above the bushes and just bring up a little ways. Now again, we're in mine is a safari field, so I don't know how many green actual hills we'd have in a safari, but I didn't want to do a whole lot of brown because I didn't want this to all be brown. So if you don't want to do green, you want to do like dirt hills, go for it. This is just what I decided upon here. Okay, and then taking a little of this dark that we used in the trees, not a lot, and staying very close to my bushes with it. My light is flickering. 1 second. Yeah, 1 second. Okay, having all kinds of complications here. So still with the dark Prussian green right next to the bushes here. And again, that's just telling our eye that these bushes in front are casting a little bit of shadow on the hill behind them, so that these bushes are closer. So we don't need it to go all the way up the hill. We need a little here to show that this hill is behind. And I do kind of want to stick to the shape of the bushes, so it does follow that illusion that the taller point of the bushes are leaving a shadow a little higher. So that's what I'm kind of doing now, is just going back and making a couple spots higher. And then if it feels too dark, go back and blend it out. Now if you want to add a little brown to that, so it doesn't look so like grass green, spring green feeling, you can add a little brown, make it look a little dirtier. Up to you. And then I'm even going to take just a tiny dot of this orange. I'm just putting a little everywhere so it looks like the sky's reflecting off of that. Okay, and so the last thing I am going to tackle here on part 1 is this little bit of grass down here around everybody. I'm going to try to use the same greens if possible. Up to you if you want to swap them up. But again, I'm going to put this dark green down first, following the line she has put in. Darker where there's darker, to help create those shadow look. And then I am going to do the base of these leaves as much as I can. They're pretty skinny. This dark green. Now if I get a little in the water, I'm not going to worry about it. Depending on how you choose to do your water and what color, it will be blue and cover it anyway. So going out of the lines is not a huge worry. I get that question a lot too. You can also color these like yellow if you want the straw look, purple if you want like a lilac flower look, totally up to you. I'm going to do apple green down here. And on a couple spots up here. And then I'm going to sharpen my chartreuse real quick with the Prismacolor handheld sharpener. Got a nice tip, and then I'm going to come to the tips of these flowers, or petal, or leaves, oh my goodness. And there goes the light again. Turning it down one end. Might have to order a new light. Not sure what's with all the flickering all of a sudden. So I will come back and clean that up with a little bit with an eraser. But this is hard to do with a tiny pencil without putting my hand in the way of trying to show what I'm coloring here. So I did not put a medium color on these leaves. I went dark straight to light, just to give them some contrast. So if you don't like that, you can add your color back in. And then I'm just going to use this to blend everything down here. So this grass down here, I'm going to sharpen because I'm going to flick. I'm kind of just going over her lines, creating my own little grass feel. Kind of hard to do because they're pretty dark lines, but I think we can make it work. And then I will go with this same middle green, so the apple green. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do. The lines are darker than I thought they would be. Well, I knew they were dark, but I thought they'd cover better. So there is my grass, and hopefully when we get that water in, I can flick in some more grass. So I'm not going to go up very high, because when I do get that water in, I would like to flick up this grass like this a little taller so that it looks like it is leaning over the water. But I'm going to darken the base of all of this right here by the shore. So these over here will be done the same all over this right here, these in the mouth, and this up here. So there we are for part 1. Not a whole lot going on just yet, but we're off to a good start. Questions, comments, requests, anything like that, please let me know. Again, I will put the link to the group down below if you would like to join in or get the page or share in my group, whatever you please. And I hope to see you for part 2. Thanks for watching. Bye.